Assalamu alaikum students. I hope all of you are doing great. This is the last lecture before your midterm examination. Today we have a short lecture. As we have studied sequential machines in detail, we have studied two types of finite state machines. One is Mealy and one is Moore. In the previous lecture we have also studied the procedure of state reduction for your state transition graph. Today we are going to design finite state machines in Verilog. I hope you have already studied the basic concepts in Verilog programming and you have done lot of practice during your lab sessions. So let us start. Today we are going to implement parity checker finite state machine. We will see how can we implement it as a Mealy in Verilog, as well as we also implement it in Verilog as a Moore finite state machine. I hope you have studied this parity checker. If you haven't studied it, you can study it in this book. It is the third chapter of this book, which is written by Maurice Mano and Clatty, which is also the author of your textbook. So let me give you a brief introduction of parity checker or parity generator. Let's suppose you want to transmit a message 01001 and you want to transmit it to a receiver Rx. In parity circuits, you append an extra bit, either 1 or 0. It depends whether you are doing even parity or odd parity. It depends, and you transmit your message along with this parity bit, and at the receiver this parity bit is used to check or detect the error in the message. If you want to study the parity checker or generator in detail, please read chapter number 3 of this book. Let's suppose you have 2-bit parity checker. In this case, you have 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1 in even parity error check circuit. If at the receiver you receive even number of ones, then there is no error in your message. But here, as you can see, there are odd number of ones in your message along with your parity bit. This is 2-bit even parity error check circuit. Here you have an error and 0 0 is considered as no error for even parity error check circuit. Similarly, for an odd parity error check circuit, for 0 0 this is an error. Here you have for 0 1 you receive odd number of ones, so there is no error. Similarly, for 1 0 you have also no error, but for 1 1 you have even number of ones. For this odd parity error check circuit, this is an error. Now let me repeat, if you want to study the parity generator or parity error check circuit in detail, please consult this book and read chapter number 3. In chapter number 3 you will see 4-bit parity circuits. You will see 4-bit even parity generator as well as 4-bit even parity error checker. Now let us design our Mealy type finite state machine for this parity error checker. For sake of simplicity, I am considering only 1-bit parity checker. So here this is your input 0 and 1. For even parity error checker, here I will write the output. Here this is no error, but for here 1 is number of 1, here is 1 which is odd, so there is an error. And for odd parity error checker, here you have an error, and for this 1 which is odd, so there is no error. So let me draw its state transition graph. Let's suppose you are in a state S0. This is your input, and let's suppose this S0 is representing a circuit that is checking even parity error. So let's suppose if you apply 0, you remain here and your output is 0. This S0 is actually the even parity checker, and when you apply 1, you get an error, and your output is 1, and you move to a new state S1. This S1 is actually checking the odd parity error checker. In this case, when you apply 0, your output is 1, and when you apply 1, there is no error. This is state transition graph for parity checker circuit or parity checker Mealy type finite state machine. Let me repeat, for sake of simplicity, I only considered 1-bit parity checker. Now let us implement it in Verilog. So in the lecture 11, we have studied this diagram. This is Mealy type finite state machine. Here you can see this is a state register. This state registers gets its input from next state combinational logic. This next state combinational logic is dependent on present state as well as input, and here you have output combinational logic. In Mealy type finite state machine, your output combinational logic depends on present state as well as your input, and you get your output. So for this parity checker circuit, this is the start of your Verilog implementation. Here you are declaring a module called Mealy parity checker. It has 3 inputs. One is clock, on which your state registers will operate. Here you have reset input, which will reset the state registers to its initial state, and here you have input X. Whereas you have your output, which is of type register, and the name of your output is parity. This output is named here parity. So in this module, you are declaring 2 states of type register. This state is representing present state, whereas this is representing next state. Whereas as you can see, we have 2 states here, so we need only 1 bit to represent them. So I am representing here with S0 is equal to 0 and S1 is equal to 1, and I am declaring it as a parameter so that they are considered as constants. No matter whether you want to implement it as Mealy or Moore, you can implement it using 3 always blocks. This always block is known as cyclic behavior. You can implement your finite state machine with 3 cyclic behaviors. So this is one cyclic behavior which is used to update your state registers. So here, as you know, state registers are basically flip-flops which operate on either positive or negative edge of the clock. and they have a reset pin that initialize or reset your state registers. So in this cyclic behavior or always block, you have two variables in its sensitivity list. So here, if reset is enabled, your state becomes initial state, which is S naught, from which you have started your state transition graph. If this reset is not enabled, your state will be updated to next state. Here you may have noticed that we are using non-blocking assignment or concurrent assignments, which are highly recommended for sequential circuits or finite state machines. So this cyclic behavior is updating your state registers. So we have implemented it in Verilog. Now come to this block, which is next state combinational logic. So this is the second cyclic behavior. Here, as you can see, this block is sensitive to change in state as well as your input. As it is the requirement of Mealet type machine, it needs input as well as the state, which is the present state. So this block is sensitive to change in state or your input. So in this cyclic behavior, you are initializing your next state to S naught, and here this is the case statement. When you are at S naught, if you get an input which is 1, you move to next state S1. So if you have input 1, you move to S1, your next state will become S1. This always block or cyclic behavior is used to calculate next states. And if your state is S1, because initially you are at S0, when you get an input X is equal to 1, you move to state S1, and this part will not be executed, and this cyclic behavior will finish its execution. Once it has executed all the statements in it, it will again wait for change in state and or the change in input. It always in the wait state of change in its sensitivity list. So in the next time when you will have change in input, this S1 will be executed, and in this case if you have input 0, your next state will be S1. Now after this execution, if next time you have 1 at the input, your state was S1. In this case, this condition will execute it, but because your input is 1, this will not be executed, and your next state will be S0. As clear from here, when you have 1 at the input, your next state is S0. Now come to the last block, which is output combinational logic. This is the third cyclic behavior which is used to calculate your output. Here again, this cyclic behavior is sensitive to change in state as well as change in input, because you are implementing Mealet type finite state machine. Here you are declaring a variable which is your output to 1 bit 0. Here if your state is S0, you will move to here, and here if your input is 1, which is here, your output will also become 1. Concurrently or meanwhile, your next state combinational logic has updated its state from S0 to S1 in this case, and next time when this always block or cyclic behavior will execute, this condition will be true, and let's suppose your output is 0 in this case. So this if condition will be true and your output will be 1. So when you receive 0 at the input, your output is 1. Lastly, you put this line end module to close your implementation of Mealy type parity checker finite state machine. So this is end of Mealy type finite state machine parity checker circuit. Now let us implement it the same parity checker circuit using Moore type finite state machine. Here you have state S0. When you apply 0, you remain at state S0, and for even parity checker, which is actually S0 state, your output is 0. Similarly, when your input is 1, you move to state S1 and your output is 1. Here you are state 1, which is odd parity error checker. When you apply 0, your output is 1 and you remain at state S1. Your output is 1, and when you apply 1, your output is 0 and your input is 1, and you move to state S0. So this is Moore type state transition graph for your parity checker circuit. Now let us implement it in Verilog. So this is your Moore type finite state machine. We have studied it in lecture number 11. Here this is your state register. This is your next state combinational logic, which depends on your present state as well as the input, and this is your output combinational logic. As you know, in Moore type finite state machine, your output combinational logic does not depend on input. So this output combinational logic is giving you the output. So let us implement our Moore type parity checker circuit in Verilog. So here you are declaring a module Moore parity checker. These are your inputs and this is your output. Here again you are declaring your variables. This is state and this is next state. This state is actually representing your current state or present state, and these are the parameters which are representing your states S0 and S1. As you have only two states, you need only one bit to represent your states. So again, you can also implement your Moore type finite state machine in Verilog using 3 cyclic behaviors. This is the first cyclic behavior, which is used to update your state register. So as clear from here, the state register is updated whenever you get a positive edge of your clock or negative edge of your clock. I am selecting positive edge for my state register. So whenever you get a positive edge of your clock or a signal to reset your state register, this cyclic behavior will be executed. In this cyclic behavior, if you set your reset button or reset pin, your state will be initialized to your initial state S0. This was your initial state. Else your state will be updated to next state. Now this is implemented. Come to the next state combinational logic. This is implemented with second cyclic behavior, which has in its sensitivity list two variables, state and input. As clear from this diagram, this next state combinational logic requires present state and your input. So here, whenever your sequential machine will change its state or it receive an input, this cyclic behavior or always block will be executed. In this block, initially you are declaring your next state to its initial state S0. Here you have a case statement. When you have S0, if this input is 1, you are moving to next state S1. As clear from here, when you apply input 1, you are moving to state S1, and this will not be executed because your initial state was S0. So this case statement will finish and you will again move to here in always statement, which will be in waiting state and it will wait for the change in the state or input. So now next time when next clock cycle will occur, as your state has changed from S0 to S1, this always block will executed, and in this case if you receive 0 in this S1, this if condition will be true and your next state will remain S1 as clear from here. But let's suppose instead of receiving 0 you receive 1. In this case this statement, because your current state is S1, this will be false and your next state is initialized to S0. So this will not be executed. At the end of this cyclic behavior, your next state will be as clear from here. Now come to the output combinational logic. As clear from this cyclic behavior sensitivity list, it has only one variable state because your mood type finite state machine does not depend on the input. So this cyclic behavior only have one variable which is present state. So here let's suppose initially you are at S0. So this statement will be true and your output is 0, which is this thing. And similarly if your present state is S1, your output is 1 as clear from this state transition graph. So this is end of mood type finite state machine implementation of parity checker in Verilog. So this is end of your module. So this is end of today's lecture. Hopefully you have understood the implementation of finite state machines in Verilog. If you have any question regarding the Verilog, please consult your textbook to read chapter number 4 and chapter number 5. You can also consult your lab manuals and all the lab sessions that you have done. I have provided the reading material at the start of this lecture. Please consult them. Today is the last lecture on finite state machines or sequential circuits. After midterm exam, we will start from ASM and ASMD charts. So if you have any question in today's lecture or any question regarding my previous lectures, you can send me an email. My email address is given. Good luck for your midterm examination. Thank you very much.